this freaking bike. I don't really know what else to say. But anyways, let's take you back to Pang. I woke up around 5 o'clock. I got out around 6. Pretty typical, my routine. Doesn't matter where I am. And the sun hasn't come up, so it's pretty cold. I look across and I see Ferran's bike still there.
This was really dangerous yesterday. Riding in the dark, crossing those trucks in a really shitty road. I'm surprised we're all still here. I'm surprised none of us dropped our bikes. Guy got really sick last night from the elevation. He took some Diamox, they were warm. Ferran got really fed up and got a room, and the second he got here and then went to sleep. I don't know how he's doing. He had a headache when he went to sleep. Probably also from the elevation. And these high elevation stuff is pretty scary. I hope that we are all healthy enough to get underway today. We're only about 100 miles or 175 kilometers from Leh. The city is probably at 11,000 feet. I think we'll acclimate a lot better and we'll be able to stay there for a little bit. And my left shoulder is killing me. It's just bothering me. But if we can get to Leh, we still have to go through a bunch of passes to get to Leh at probably 15, 14, 16,000 feet. And once we get to Leh, there's a whole town, there's hotels, we can wash up, laundry, everything, and then, back to being more civilized.
At around 8 o'clock, the sun started appearing over the mountains. And it's kind of like a very desert environment, so like it's very cold when the sun's not out, but when the sun comes up, it heats up really fast. And as it starts to get warmer, I look across the street and I see a familiar figure walking towards me. And it's Ferran. Apparently, he had just as bad of a night, if not worse, than Guy. And he looked half dead. My first thought was, if he's able to walk across the street, he's probably good enough to ride. So I gave him a electrolyte gel shot that I had, and he got some stuff to eat and some fluids in him. And it took a while, but around 9:30, we got some gas and we went on our way.
How's everybody feeling today?
Good. Feeling better. I ate some dried mango.
Yeah?
Maybe that, whatever that dioxin or whatever it was. What was that? Dialox.
Nice.
Diamox.
Kicking it in?
Yeah.
That's good. So it looks like we're all gonna get ready to go here. Everybody's feeling better. So we're on our way. My bike runs like shit. Ferran's bike runs like shit. And we have, 165 kilometers or 75 kilometers? 77 kilometers, thank you, to Leh, which is a little more than 100 miles.
As we left Pang, I can't help but notice how lucky I was for the bike to not break down on the way riding in the dark to Pang. But before that thought was finished,
It's done. Yeah, it's done.
and again,
Might die again.
once we got the bike running again, we continued to increase in elevation as we come up on one of the summits.
Oh, think of a path. This is the road.
And now we're even at a significant higher elevation than we were before. But this is the only way going to Leh, And there's no way we're not going to stop and take some photos since we're here.
This is our there's a temple here at the top. We're at over 17,000 feet, 17,400 some feet. Bike barely wants to run. We somehow made it to the top, but we need to start descending. People start getting sick. We're gonna take a leak, and then we're gonna start going downhill. Died. So I'm just gonna keep going.
The bike died almost immediately after we left the summit, and because I didn't really want to stop and try to get the bike running again, I kind of just put it in neutral and started coasting. I didn't know how long this downhill strip was, but it was quite a while. We just kept rolling.
It was never on. I was just rolling downhill.
The whole time?
Yeah. Because it died almost immediately. And I just said, fuck it, I was just gonna roll downhill.
It didn't take long before it happened again.
It is just backfiring like you would not believe.
And then again.
Woke too early. Woke too early.
I was about ready to just roll the bike off the cliff and call it done. But luckily, after this last time, we were able to ride all the way to Upshi checkpoint without much drama. Now, at Upshi checkpoint, I really needed to use the restroom. So I asked the guy, where's the closest restroom? He's like, oh, just ride by this checkpoint. It's just about a mile down the road, past the bridge on your left side. I said, okay. I ride down there and I see this small building on my left-hand side. And it looked like what he was talking about, but it looked more like an outhouse with a door on it. And I was like, I've been to a lot of dirty, hygiene concerned places. If I had to go, I can make it work. So I park my bike, walk up to it, open the door, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. This was not an outhouse. This was a shack with the hole cut in the middle of the floor, and there was not even anything on the bottom to catch it. I mean, like, there was trash, there's shit, there's everything just tossed into the hole, and there was shit everywhere. I walked right back out, find the closest patch of grass, and clean my boots as best as I can, and row back up, and decided that I could use the bathroom another time. The checkpoint took over an hour, so afterwards we hurried ourselves to Leh. Instead of going directly to find lodging, we went directly to the Royal Enfield Service Center, because my bike and Ferran's bike both need work. You'll recognize this photo as my background, and this is their lounge area. And then they finally serviced my bike, and they found a handful of sand in the fuel pump. While they were working on our bikes, we went across the street to get something to eat, and then we came back and packed everything up. Once we got ready, we took off to our hotel, which is in the center of town. So we arrived at Glacier View Guest House at around 8:30. We booked this hotel for 3 days, and we are so happy that we finally get a day to take a break and then figure out how we're going to get up to Khardung La at 18,000 feet.